Welcome, Gille, to the Rustenburg Podcast.
Good afternoon, Molweni. Goedemiddag. Not goedemorgen. Am I correct? No?
That is correct. Good afternoon.
Cool. You will see. Today I'm not alone. I am sitting here with a gentleman with a sir who's wearing a Levi's brand. Why are you not wearing Rustenburg branding?
You can't be there.
I was thinking as a Rustenburg DP, you'd be coming here with like Rusty Buck and all of that.
Next time.
Okay, cool.
I promise.
Yeah, perfect. I'm super excited for this conversation and thank you for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, Neil Ratcliffe is our DP. I don't want to even say you're new anymore because I feel like you're part of Rustenburg now. How has it been? Have you done your first 100 days?
Yeah. I've
Okay.
done my first 100 days.
But I didn't see you with pajamas or something. What's the rule?
Yes, it has come and gone.
But we can always make it happen.
We can play catch up.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I'll have to get myself a Springbok onesie in honor of the women
Yeah.
who are in the final.
Oh yeah,
the ladies
the Proteas.
cricketing.
Yeah.
Good idea.
No.
Springbok one.
Springbok onesie.
Yeah, okay, cool. I must say, like, Neil, welcome to Rustenburg. We have
Thank
this
you.
thing that we call a podcast. And one of the greatest things that I've enjoyed seeing you is that beautiful kind of parking that you put in. The Mini. If you see a Mini in our school parking, just know he's the owner. Sorry to tell everyone.
That's fine.
Yeah. Cool.
That's fine.
And you've been good and you are well. Cool.
Very good.
Perfect. So we're having an interesting conversation today, and I don't think I need to introduce Mrs. Petersen because everyone knows who's Mrs. Petersen.
Let's make it official.
I
Okay.
don't know if it's a good thing or bad.
No, it is a great thing. It is a great. Imagine having a principal and no one knows who the principal is. So yeah. So we're having a very interesting conversation today, and sure, it's very difficult for me to sit here and have. Maybe difficult is not the correct word. Sorry. It's very, maybe catch-22 for me as a man to sit here and have this conversation. But I'm also happy as a dad to a daughter that I'm having this conversation. So I've been researching and there's so much stats around girl education, girl child education and how it varies. And Mrs. Petersen, that is the essence of our conversation today. And well, I'm not going to follow my script, right? I'm just going to speak differently. So there was, before I joined Rustenburg, one of the companies that I worked for, one of the big things that we did at that time was putting money into girl child education because there were other states outside of South Africa, I can't remember the African country, that didn't allow girl childs to go to school. So what we then did, we approached government to say, listen, we'll build the school, we'll pay the teachers, we'll just make sure the infrastructure is there. So we put in money around that. But I saw that was not any CSI thing, it was just a passion project, right? And maybe in the beginning, let's then start, let's go way back, right? Where women were not afforded the same opportunities as men, and that has always been like a deep issue. And now things are changing, we still have a few challenges, but let's speak about the importance of having equal opportunities with men. Maybe Pat, before we go into the education part, your thoughts?
Oh gosh, that's a loaded question.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think gender equality, gender equity has been a hot topic for an extremely long time. I think across the globe, but also in terms of, our South African history.
Yeah.
Girls and women have had to fight for their rights, literally. Think of why we celebrate National Women's Day on the 9th of August. It's because 20,000 women decided that they'd had enough and they needed to speak up. Just 100 years ago, women weren't allowed to vote.
Yeah.
There were so many things that put women on the back foot. And it starts with education.
Yeah.
It starts with girls being in school, being afforded the same opportunities to learn, to be educated, to strive, to have a career, and not just leave school at a young age and then have to work in the household and get married and continue on that journey. Women are so much more than that, and so I think there's so much importance placed on how much we need to do for children in society, and I'm proud to be part of a girls' school I've always been in co-ed schools, so being part of a girls' school and the girls' schools network has really opened my eyes to what girls' education is all about, and what we potentially can do for girls for our future.
So Neil, I'm wondering, has this been a huge shift for you? Is it the first time at that girls' school?
Yes, it's the first time. I've been at about 5 or 6 schools in my career, and always co-ed schools. And so this is my first time being in a single sex. It just happens to be a girls' school. So I've never ever taught in a single sex school ever, like I said, and it is much different. It's quite significant. There are areas, I suppose we'll unpack it a little bit in this conversation. There are areas that are quite significantly different to having a single sex school.
Okay, cool. Let's dive deep into it now. Why do you think, or what role in society does it play to have a single sex school, and in particular girls' school? Because, I mean, is a school not a school?
Yes and no. Yes and no. And I think there's place for all of it. And there's a lot of research out there around why single-sex schools are better and why co-ed schools are better. And this is both for both of us, our first girls' school, because we've always been in co-ed. And so there's a lot of research out there, and you can easily go down that rabbit hole of going, oh well, co-ed schools are better, or single-sex being boys or girls schools are better. I think for me, understanding the significance of girls in girls' schools versus girls in co-ed schools. That's a loaded conversation in itself, because, and maybe, I don't know if Neil can also speak into this, but for me, I've seen the difference in how girls are in those two different spaces, and how they show up, but also the environment that we create for girls to show up. That's what's important. And I don't see that in a co-ed environment necessarily. Some co-ed schools, I think, really try to do that, to give girls the opportunity to shine and take up space and take places of leadership, and not be held back by stereotypes or anything like that. But it's not in every co-ed school. And unless there's a willingness from leadership, from the staff, from the parent body to drive that, it's not necessarily going to be the reality for girls. But in a girls' school environment, that's what we cater for. We cater for how girls develop. Girls and boys are different. How they develop, how they learn, physically, emotionally, socially, mentally, everything, which is completely different. And so we can tailor our environment for girls. And that's not to say every girl child is the same, because they are totally not the same. Girls are still the individual selves, but generally the phases and stages of development, I suppose, is generally similar. And so it's helpful.
From our side, everything that we do here at the Rustenburg Girls Junior is tailor-made for the girl child. We only need to direct all our resources to the growth. And when I talk about growth, what Melinda also said, I'm echoing, it's everything about the child. Mind, heart, body, soul, everything. So it's tailor-made towards the girl child, so that the girl child at the end, at this school, receives a concentrated dose of our energies, and what we do for them.
Sure. So I can just imagine. Sorry. How is competition in a girls only school? from academics, from sport, are girls competing? Is there like I mean, I would assume with grown men, I don't know about boys, the ego is like quite a huge challenge, But how's competition in girls only space environment?
Can I answer that? Okay. Testosterone aside. Okay, that's what you alluded to. Girls are the type of competition is there, but it's less subtle. That is what you were alluding to. So it is definitely there. It's not like it's not there. Girls do step up to the challenge, and that is healthy. They step up to the challenge, but not in the way that is typical, stereotypical boy you know, like the manna. But there is that competition amongst the girls. I think, from my perspective, it's a bit healthier than the boys.
Yeah.
It is not an aggressive form of competition. It is a well thought, well structured, and that is the nature of a girl child, without trying to be stereotypical, but that is the nature. Boys are more out there often. I'm not saying that you don't get girls who are like that, but from my experience at this school, healthily, like I said, a more, in my opinion,
compassionate competition. Girls tend to, I mean, some girls can be very competitive, and again, it's down to the unique child. But I think what I've noticed is that girls tend to be more compassionate in the way they compete. Like, if somebody's struggling, or, you know, they'll cheer them on. They will, I see that a lot more amongst girls, because there seems to be this sisterhood kind of understanding, you know, and so I think that for me is evident. It's more around they're able to generally, and we are generalizing here, but you know, be able to balance competition and being competitive with being able to see the other and help the other and support the other and cheer them on, which is, I think, like you said, it's healthy and it's good.
Okay. Let's break down numbers now. Let's go into stats. So you've been in education 20 years plus, 30 years? I don't know.
No, I'm not so.
Combination, combined about 50 years, but we're not doing the breakdown.
Okay, good. Let's just leave it there. But you've been in numerous positions outside of Rustenburg also, you know, you've been part of the South African Girls Schools Association. Yes, I've said it right. As a secretary there, you're part of WEX, you're part of principal bodies and so forth, right? Focusing on single sex and all of that, right? What are the numbers saying from a stats point of view, from research point of view? Let's just break down key elements that we find from research, from stats, and what's been out there.
Gosh, there is so much out there. I think, I mean, we are privileged to have a girls' schools, a healthy girls' schools network, and the one thing, I mean, we were talking about competition earlier, just to latch onto that, is that there's a healthy competition amongst the girls' schools as well. We compete in a way that's not to take away from each other, but actually to boost each other. And so we have a very strong network. And a lot of the research, not just locally, but globally as well, is showing us that girls are more willing to be involved in areas like, we were debating this earlier, around STEM, but it's actually STEAM-ACI, which is science, technology, engineering, arts, mathematics, agriculture, coding, and innovation. Did I get it right?
Correct.
And so, things have evolved, not just STEM anymore, but around the fact that, and I'm going to lean into the STEM part, so sciences, technology, engineering, and maths particularly. Girls tend to, there's a higher percentage of girls who are willing firstly to take those subjects at schools, in girls' schools, compared to girls in co-ed schools, and then also to thrive in those subjects, and then as well as the competition, girls in particular, within those spaces, but definitely beyond, as alumni of those schools. So that's very strong in terms of the stats. I mean, leadership from anything to the corporate world, to the NGO sector, to government, politics, activists. You know, there's so many stories. I mean, just with our own alumni, there are so many stories of women in academia as well, who are shifting and making changes in those spaces, and that's exciting to see. And I often reflect and wonder how much of that would have been possible had it not been in girls' school spaces. I mean, that's just our stories, and I know if I speak to other girls' school principals, they'll have the same stories, you know, to share, because that's what we see. And speaking to other principals in the SAGSA, the South African network, it's evident there too. We are all seeing it in our spaces. And so while the research is the research, and globally there's very strong research around that, at the end of the day it's also, we're seeing it tangibly. the confidence level of girls who come through girls' schools. It's almost like they, I think you used this word in another context last week about they're unafraid. Largely, not to say that they're courageous. They tend to be more confident to step into the space. And it starts in these spaces that we create in girls' schools where we encourage them to step up, to try new things, to do things that's out of their comfort zone, to reflect on their learning, and to keep growing. This is the starting point. It starts when they come in at grade R, when they're 5 years old. We teach them how to be independent, learning to do things for themselves, not always for us to step in and save them. Because they're not going to learn to be independent and courageous if we sort of cushion them from the real world. Obviously, it's all age appropriate. I mean, nothing to expect our 5-year-olds to do what we expect our 13-year-old grade 7s to do. But that's part of the learning journey. So it's, as much as it is about the academics, it's also about that learning journey of the social behavior, emotional skills and regulation. It's all of that. So it's holistic.
I think what you're saying is so important because it also breaks down to, and I'm in markets, I'm gonna wear my marketing here, that we dress this core subject in a man thingy. The minute you say engineering, I'm thinking overall boots and all of those things. So we dress them like this is for men, but it's really not gender specific. And those spaces and creating that environment to say, let's remove the stereotypes. You can be literally anything. And it has nothing to do with the
male. My thoughts are that, this space that we find ourselves in, the Rustenburg Girls Junior, is spaces where stereotypes are actually broken down. By the girls themselves, the parents themselves, because they can see the growth of their own daughters within these spaces compared to, now I'm not suddenly, I find myself in the space of a single-sex girls' school that are now anti-co-ed schools. I'm not, each to their own, okay? But these are areas clearly that I can see that breaks the stereotypes down for the girls themselves. It provides the girls with voices, it provides the girls with opportunities, and this is where the growth happens. And this growth is like a pure growth. It's not a false type of growth, because the growth is strong. From what I can see here with the girls and confidence levels of girls, whether in sport or whether in the classrooms, there are some characters here, and I'm talking healthy characters here, that the question begs, would it have been so if they were in a co-ed school? I actually think not. Many of our girls, I actually think not. Okay, because they're coming back to our first opening statements. You now must compete with the boys, who are often physically out there, louder, stronger, showing what they are worth. Here, the girls can be who they aspire to be.
I mean, just to tag on to what you're saying, I mean, in girls' schools, and I'm not just speaking about Rustenburg, I mean, in all girls' schools that I connect with, in spaces that you would normally find boys stepping up to take the lead. Like I know of a couple of schools where, they put up their big production. The girls are building the sets. The girls are doing all the tech. The girls are doing the sound. The girls they are doing everything. Which sometimes in co-ed schools tends to be done by boys. But in the girls' school, there are no boys. So guess who's going to step up?
Correct.
The girls. And so that's what we mean by, sort of breaking down those barriers, because there are none. Somebody has to step up, and no boys there to build the sets and do whatever and construct things. They are doing it. And so I know of schools who do that. And lots of other things. I mean, we have similar kinds of, not to that degree, but similar kinds of spaces here. Where I don't know if girls would be stepping into those spaces otherwise. And so I think in girls' schools, those barriers don't necessarily exist. Because there are no boys to be doing those things that stereotypically they would do.
Sure. I mean, it seems like we've covered everything that I wanted to speak about, but I cannot forget this part, that we are 131 years this year.
Yes.
And me not putting you in the spot because you've only been with Rustenburg, what, 10 years, 6 years? 7?
6.5.
6, okay, let's
Going
call
on
it
6.5.
7. Let's call it.
Let's round it up.
Let's call it 7. So for 7 years, and one of the conversations that I was having within the history book committee, we spoke about, and I'm hoping I'm right. Is it Mrs. Berry,
Yes.
the founder, right?
No,
the first
principal.
The first principal, sorry.
Miss Bleedy.
Miss Bleedy. So we spoke about at that time,
1894.
1894. How brave of her to then principal a girls only school at that time, where I could just imagine how difficult it was, right? And she was laying the foundation,
Yes.
right? Back then when it was so difficult, right? And I mean, I've been around Cape Town in different places, and when everyone asks where do I work, and I say Rustenburg, I was like, oh, my grandmother. It's like kind of like it seems like every woman somewhere around Cape went to Rustenburg somehow, and it's in professional setting. When I go to a doctor, when I consult a lawyer or something, there is just like a lot, right? Is there specific, and I know there's a lot of ladies that are out there that are doing great things, but is there specific ladies that we would say like, yeah, shout out to this person, that she was part of Rustenburg?
Gosh, the pillow.
Yeah.
There are many.
Yeah.
There are many. I actually want to give a shout out to Rustenburg alumni
Yeah.
who have come back as teachers in our school and
Sure.
and are doing amazing work.
Yeah.
We actually have a few teachers who were learners here,
Yeah.
who attended the school as Rusty Bikes, and they are Rusty Bikes through and through still.
Yeah.
And they are so invested in the school, and to be able to come back and give back to a school that has meant so much to them, and to see them thrive in the space
Yeah.
because of what Rustenburg gave them all those years ago whenever they attended as a little sub-A for some of them, because it's that far back, little sub-A girl
Yeah.
at our school. And to see them thrive at our school in different spaces, whether they're in management or in the arts or whatever they do at Rustenburg. It's incredible to see that.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'd actually like to give a shout out to them, because they are really invested in the foundation of what they've had and what they'd like to see in present and future Rusty Bikes.
I mean, I always say to them, I feel like they're their DNA. You know, like if I had to cut open, it would be Rustenburg out of that.
Yeah.
Neil, do you want to maybe pose a question?
No, but I just want to add to that. I'm listening to your comments, and I'm thinking actually the image that's coming to mind is a solid foundation.
Yeah.
And the people who are coming through are just but bricks. Like Belinda said, even our current staff have been through these rooms, through these corridors, and they're coming back. And they are part of the structure, they're part of the brickwork, they're part of the cement building for future generations. Because we all leave a part of us behind.
Yeah.
And that was started in 1894, and it still continues. So that is also the strength of the space, because there's nothing like the test of time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's nothing like the test of time. And for people to come back to this space to reinvest of their time, their commitment, their efforts, that speaks volumes. And I'm listening to this conversation, and it's actually giving me a bit of goosebumps to think that we are doing this, not just for the now. Yes, the now is important, and we need to live in the moment. But it's also for future generations. And if the school lasts 131 years with this amount of strength, it started with a handful of girls, but I know there's a photograph of a handful of girls.
There were actually a few boys in the beginning, just so you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we're not going to go there.
No,
we're not going to go back there. We're not going to go back.
We'll stick to the girls.
We'll stick to the girls. We stick to what we know. This is the recipe. So for me, it is quite something. It is quite something, and I salute that. Just those endeavors, what people are doing, plowing back, because like Belinda, and I mean, at some stage we all going to get off this train. But the train is going to forge ahead.
Sure.
Okay, and here we go, and with the building blocks, it doesn't matter what image you use, but kudos to everybody who came before, who's here now, and for the future.
Sure. Maybe Belinda, your closing remarks, any additional comments, and you can just say it on that camera.
Oh gosh, I've still got a lot to say.
Okay, my closing to
Part one, we can make this part one.
Oh, part one, yeah.
No, I think, you know, you were asking about research earlier, and just listening to some of the things that Niels has been saying, because, you know, I've been in the girls' school space now for nearly 7 years. Niels, what, 7 months?
7 months.
You know, and so it is a huge change, and I think, but there's some sort of, I don't want to use the word power, but that's the only word I can think of now, in terms of being a girls' school and being part of the girls' schools network. And, you know, once a year we have this big girls' schools conference in some part of the country, one of the provinces, and I always walk away feeling deeply connected. And Neil, you had your first conference earlier this year. You know, it is such an enriching space for us as leaders within girls' schools to share best practice, but also to forge ahead as girls' schools and really almost, you know, put our stamp on education in South Africa for girls, because our girls face a lot.
Absolutely.
And we are very fortunate being in a girls' school where we can tailor-make our environment for girls. But there are many girls out there who don't have that privilege. You know, and I think often of girls who are, and not to say that this doesn't exist in girls' schools, but, you know, I think the challenge with things that a lot of girls still face in society today, locally and abroad, it's still concerning. And that's why I think having a day like International Day of the Girl Child, which is 11 October every year, is significant. And as a girls' school, we have got to make the light shine on how important it is to prioritize girls and their education. Because, yeah, girls rule the world.
Yeah.
Of course.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Sure. What I'm struggling to find words of this conversation, but I think for me more than anything, just being in the space has just opened up how I view things, how I've experienced things, and how and it's quite different. It's like some sort of like superpower that happened that made me land in a girls' school, you know. And it has changed how I do things at home, how I do what I say, how I say it. It has just impacted me on even my personal life point of view, how I do things. And I appreciate this space. I really do. And I've been here for 4 years, and I get so excited when I see girls now in high school striving and doing better, regardless of whether they went to a girls' school, high school, or whatever. And I would bump into them in the malls or something like that, but you could just see that the foundation is so important, and it has killed them. It has impacted them. So kudos to teachers, kudos to the leaders of the school, SPB, the parents, and just everyone who's contributing. You know, I think if you can see the impact outside, just little things, whether it's manners, whether it's just driving and winning in spaces that might be a little bit difficult because of stereotypes and all of those things, but it really does not even deter them to say, listen, you can't do this. I mean, having that mindset that I can do anything, like it's super wild. And yeah, I think this conversation we needed to have. So from me, from Rustenburg, yeah, a huge thank you. I didn't want to be in front of the camera for such a long time doing podcasts, so just wanted to bring the background to that and I jumped into this one. So this is Petersen. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Cool. There we have it, Rusty Bucks. Interesting conversation. We are back again in the next few weeks with the conversation around our strategic theme for the next 5 years, be on the lookout. I will not tell you the details as yet. So myself and Mrs. Petersen are back on that podcast. Until next time, we out of here. Thank you.
Thank you.